Good afternoon and welcome back to the College of Business and Management presentation for Homecoming 2020. Welcome back, my live audience from this morning. And if you're joining us for the first time today, welcome, welcome. It's a beautiful day. It's Monday again, November 2nd, 2020. Before we begin, let us pray. Father, we give thee thanks for your loving kindness towards each and every one of us. Continue to bless this university, Northern Caribbean University, its administrators, all the homecoming committee that have planned, all of our members participating worldwide. Bless us and give us peace, we pray. Amen. Amen. This webinar, once more, is sponsored by the College of Business and Management. I'm going to introduce my speaker, but before I do, I'm going to invite those of you on the YouTube platform to type in your question during the presentation or to make your comment in the chat section during the presentation. Our presenter today will be presenting on the topic for this afternoon, the 2020 Entrepreneur, Challenges and Opportunities During COVID-19. She is a member of the graduating class of 2000. Mrs. VENICE IRVING is CEO of Happy Teachers. Her passion is to educate students in cultural affairs and language acquisition, led her to start this cross-cultural communication firm that specializes in language and global skills acquisition. She has 20 years experience in English language teaching, both online and in the classroom. She has worked and lived in Taiwan and has done research in Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. She currently sits on the board of trustees at Proven Wealth Limited. She is a recipient of Academy of Women Entrepreneur AWE program and is a participating member of the Sherry Blair Foundation mentoring program. In her spare time, she mentors young women whose lives have been affected by HIV/AIDS at Eve for Life. My online audience, please help me to welcome Miss VENICE IRVING.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is VENICE IRVING, and it is a pleasure to come to you today to speak on the topic 2020 Entrepreneur, the Challenges and Opportunities During COVID-19. Thank you so much to Mrs. Yvonne Bignell and her team for the invitation. I am a proud NCU graduate of the year 2000, and we are going right into our topic right now. Give me a second, let me share my screen. So we are talking about the 2020 Entrepreneur. Are you a 2020 entrepreneur? Before I talk about the title or the topic, I want you to put in your chat box, what are the challenges or opportunities that you think the 2020 entrepreneurs are facing today? What are the challenges and opportunities that you think the 2020 entrepreneurs are facing today? If you take a look, you'll see that we're living in unprecedented times. This COVID-19 has thrown us to and fro because we've never experienced anything like this in this generation. So we are all learning to navigate these uncertain times together. And our small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and large companies are feeling the hit during this pandemic. However, even though there are challenges, we need to realize that there are opportunities during these times. And this is a time when a quick thinking, innovative entrepreneur can take action and be strategic and make sure that they use these opportunities and take steps to move their business forward. So I'd like to start with this quote by Yannick Page. She states, "Beautiful people, consider my advice and reassess your profession, career, and earning potential in light of the economic fallout of this pandemic. Some jobs are on their way out. Some jobs are on their way in. Some have gone and will never come back. Some will take more effort and offer less pay, and some will be in higher demand and pay more than ever before. Now again, utilize your chat box. Tell me, which jobs do you think are here to stay, are in higher demand, and will pay more than ever before? Now, during these times, we have to consider what is going on with COVID-19 and how it affects our country and the world. Now, listen to this. Since World War I, we've had quite a few recessions. And during these recessions, we found that there are common factors across all of these recessions in the way the world and the countries recover. The first factor is the world takes longer to recover on a whole. During these times, the world generally takes about 3 to 4 to 5 years to recover after a recession. Jamaica tends to lag behind because we are deemed a third world country, right? And therefore we take a longer time to recover than the mighty USA or, Canada. So in this COVID-19 recession, the World Economic Forum states that the USA will recover by the year 2022. And they do state that third world countries like Jamaica would recover in 2023, which is a year behind the USA. Now, many think that this is an optimistic view of the recovery that countries will make, depending on how we will do and how we have done in the past. I think that will determine the way we go forward. Now, we were in a recession in 2007, 2008. And last year, we were just getting out of that recession. And boom, COVID hit. And we're back into another economic recession. So what has that told us? That told us that nothing is stable, right? Things can pop up out of nowhere. So as entrepreneurs, we always have to be ready, be mindful that these are changing times and that nothing remains the same. Second factor we're looking at is vulnerable countries take longer. We just talked about it. Jamaica usually takes a longer time than first world countries to recover from these recessions. And because of that, businesses in these vulnerable countries take longer to recover and may even shut down because of that recession. The last factor we want to look at is the widening of the wealth gap. During recessions, we see that the rich becomes richer and the poor become poorer. Unfortunately, because of the widening of the wealth gap, we find that things like food security, water security, housing security becomes an issue for the majority of the population. So there's generally about 8% of the world that is at the top 1%. And then you have the 92% of us that's left that is considered below the wealth gap. So these are things that we need to consider when we move forward as entrepreneurs and when we're building our businesses. So who is the 2020 digital entrepreneur? The 2020 entrepreneur is a digital entrepreneur, let me just say that. We cannot continue to operate like we used to before. The computer, the internet, digitization, automation is a part of our new normal. It is what it is, and this is what we're gonna not only do now, but continue to do in the future. If you're an entrepreneur and you're lacking in digital skills, you need to get yourself upgraded. Digital entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs focused exclusively on digital commerce. Digital commerce is a subset of e-commerce used to delineate companies that create digital products and services that are marketed, delivered, and supported completely online. Examples of these include ebooks, online education, membership sites, downloadable software, web hosting, and software as a service. Now, this is where we're at, people. Because of COVID-19, most of the world had to go home to work. And how did we maintain that connection at work with our coworkers? Through the internet and through the computer. Even now, I'm using the computer to speak to you and to give you information on this digital age as an entrepreneur. We cannot get away from it, and therefore we have to embrace it and find ways in which we can use the internet, leverage the internet for our businesses. So the World Economic Forum, who is the place that people go to for this kind of information, gave us the top 10 skills for the 2020 entrepreneur. And these skills go not only for the entrepreneur, it's really for everyone, because COVID-19 has affected us all. And this is how we're going to recover from COVID-19 in our businesses, in our families, and etc. So the first thing is leadership and social influence. That's a big deal. So if you realize that you're lacking in leadership skill, invest in leadership training. Practice leadership skills as you lead your family, as you become a part of your school culture there at NCU, and even as a small entrepreneur. If you're one person managing your business, you can develop and hone leadership skills through communicating with other entrepreneurs, maybe being a part of an entrepreneur team and entrepreneur association, and hone your leadership skills that way. The second one is active learning and learning strategies, and I put that in bold. We have to activate our learning strategies. I said it before and I'll say it again, nothing remains the same. So if you are the person that likes to stay in one place and do traditional things all the time and not wanting to learn new ways of doing things, you're going to be left behind. In addition, creativity, originality, and flexibility are the order of the day. This is what is taking you into the future. And this is what is making you the creme de la creme of entrepreneurs. Creativity, originality, and flexibility. So things like content creators now, we're finding that people are invading the social media space and becoming content creators. These kind of skills are what content creators use. And they earn money by creating videos, creating software, creating online education, the packets, and giving it and offering it to customers for a price. That's how they make money. Technology design and programming, IT, digitization, increasing your digital skills, internet, knowing how to create email accounts, knowing how to send a quick email here and there, knowing how to do online branding. All those things are very important for the 2020 entrepreneur. We're moving on to critical skills and critical thinking skills and analysis. The 2020 entrepreneur is a critical skills thinker. You have to know how to solve problems critically and on the go, because if you notice nowadays, every hour on the hour something new is happening in the world. Every day in 2020, it's like it's a year. We've lived 1,000 lives already because of the changing of the times. And therefore, with that changing of the times, the entrepreneur must become a critical thinker. That includes solving complex problems. That includes analytical thinking and innovation. You must be innovative in this time. And we're moving on to emotional intelligence. No longer are we depending on the IQ, we're now depending on our EQ. Are you able to connect with people, especially now when mental health is a crisis? People are under stress like ever before. If I tell you the stress that this COVID-19 has put me and my family under, the mere fact that my son has to be here at home and I have to help him in when he does his virtual classes, he is here 24 hours a day. And I have to manage myself and my company, building my business while ensuring that he is okay, while ensuring that my husband is okay. That alone puts a lot of stress on people. As a 2020 entrepreneur, you are supposed to develop those skills in the means of emotional intelligence. You need to know how to connect with people, understanding the stress that they're under, and learning how to just sometimes put yourself in someone's shoes. Yeah, being empathetic, being compassionate, and just being kind to people. Remember your reasoning skills. We talked about problem solving just now and ideation, coming up with ideas, how to solve problems, coming up with ideas, new and innovative ideas, how to move your business forward, how to use the internet to move your business forward. And of course, systems analysis and evaluation, just knowing how to manage the computer, knowing how to solve a quick problem, and not getting viruses on your computer. All those things are different, are specific skills, important skills that we need as 2020 entrepreneurs. So the characteristics of the 2020 entrepreneur, to summarize, is the 2020 entrepreneur is small, independent digital contractors that have flexibility. The 2020 entrepreneur is no longer the large companies or the medium-sized companies or enterprise. These entrepreneurs are small, one-man shop businesses. They are the digital contractors, the digital entrepreneurs that are flexible. They no longer need to go to the office for a 9 to 5. They don't need to rent space. All they need is a cafe. All they need is to stay at home. And as long as they have their computer and the internet, the 2020 entrepreneur is ready to go. In addition to that, the 2020 entrepreneur is a globally competitive person, realizing that once you're on the internet, you no longer are competing against your local natives here in your country. You're now competing against the entire world because everybody now is on the internet. So expand your mind. So that's why we talked about upgrading your digital skills, upgrading certain skills that you have, because now you are supposed to raise your standard on an international level. So your business, the way you present yourself, your branding, the way you speak, whatever you do now has to be raised. It's now a globally competitive sphere that you've entered. And of course, the 2020 entrepreneur is innovative. And lastly, the 2020 entrepreneur leverages the power of the internet to create opportunities for his or her business. That's especially important because the internet is now and it's here to stay. So get on board. Now we're going to look at some of the challenges. And according to the Gleaner, the membership of more than 300 persons in the Small Business Association of Jamaica says in a recent survey that 35% of its business operators have closed their doors since the COVID-19 pandemic. 35%. The survey has also revealed that around 60% of these persons that are employed to the businesses have lost their jobs. So if their businesses haven't closed, you have some that have laid off. And you've seen it in the news. People are getting laid off. People's salaries are being cut. People's hours are being cut. And so forth. And therefore, everybody is getting hit. Not only the entrepreneur, but the persons that work for the entrepreneur. So these are the challenges that we're facing, especially in Jamaica. Another challenge is if you're an entrepreneur in these times and you don't know how to unlearn certain skills, relearn certain skills, and upskill yourself in certain areas, you are going to be left behind. So the days of doing things in a traditional way, in the old way, we have to unlearn that. Those days are done. Those jobs are out. We now have to relearn digitization skills. We have to acclimate ourselves with what digitization is and to keep up with these countries. Remember, we are now entering the fourth industrial revolution. And that means digitization is at our fingertips. Therefore, we need to upskill ourselves, get training, go on the internet and learn. There are lots of free courses. And, pay for training courses at NCU. NCU has a professional development courses that they offer to career professionals, early career professionals. Go and do some technology course, go and do some social media marketing courses, go and do some digital marketing courses at NCU, because this is the way that the world is taking us now. Two, one of the challenge of the entrepreneur nowadays is maintaining a healthy lifestyle. You see that COVID-19 has taken out those persons who have not only, circumstances regarding their health, like diabetes, high blood pressure, so forth. But if you are not maintaining a healthy lifestyle, you can easily get COVID-19. And unfortunately, some have passed away because of it. Ensuring that you eat healthy, ensuring that you exercise, drink your water, observe temperance, breathe in fresh air, rest, very important. The 2020 entrepreneur is the entrepreneur out of any entrepreneur over the years that has the least amount of rest. We are not resting. We are on our internet and our computers up to 12 o'clock midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, trying to meet deadlines. As much as possible, adhere to rest. Just get rest, right? 3, maintaining a full pipeline. The 2020 entrepreneur, their challenge is maintaining a full slate of clients, because clients now have a variety of options that they can choose from. They don't have to go to you for their business and service. They can go to anyone to get their products and services. They can now buy things online. So they don't need to go down to small man's shop down the road anymore. They can order food online. They can order services online. They can order beauty products online. Things have changed now. And because of that, the 2020 entrepreneur sees a turnover in their clients more regularly than ever before. The next one is time management. We just talk about having rest and staying up all hours of the night to do work, to meet deadlines. Time management is very important. Scheduling is very important. If you have a meeting, if you have something to do, a speech to give, whatever it is, ensuring that you schedule your time, ensuring that you have enough time to rest and enough time to do your work is especially important. Also, detaching and letting go is a challenge for us in 2020. We talked about the changing of the times. The things that we used to do, we can't do it anymore here in 2020. So there are times when we have to let things go. Is it possible that you have to close on your business because the services and products that you were offering no longer applies in 2020 and beyond? You've got to let it go. Are you still holding on to the traditional ways of running your office, running your business, and managing your staff? It won't take you long to figure out that you've got to change. Let it go. Are you still holding on to the old mindset, the old ways of doing things? Let that go. We have to remember that, because of what is going on now, it has lent itself not only nowadays a change, but a change for the future. This is going to be ongoing. So therefore, we have to start with our minds, getting used to the new way of doing things. Another challenge is building the right team. The 2020 entrepreneur tends to work alone. The entrepreneur is typically a one-woman shop, a one-man shop that has that internet and a computer and it's doing the work, but you still need a team of contractors to help you, even if it's a part-time team. So if you need graphics design, you need to hire a graphic designer. If you need a video to be done to put on YouTube, you need an editor, a video editor. If you need, if you are building a web show on Facebook and Instagram, you may need persons to help you with the script and help you to stream online. So you're gonna need a variety of persons on your team. It may be part-time contractors, it may be full-time people, but you may need to build that team. And a challenge is finding the team with the right skills that will help you move your business forward. And the last challenge is building and fostering the right culture. You have to start, even if you are an only person in your company, you have to start thinking of your company as having a culture. What kind of culture do you want to portray? What kind of vision do you have? What kind of mission do you have for your small company? That will propel you to building something solid for the future once you know where you're going, what your standards are, and how you can strategize and project yourself for the future. Now, the PSOJ has certain solutions for those challenges that we just talked about. The PSOJ has stated that all businesses should pivot in 2020. Whether you are a one-man show or whether you are a huge company with 2,000 employees. All companies, all small businesses need to pivot. So let us look at the first pivot. These are 6 pivoting tips, and we're looking at the first one, operational pivot. That is, you're doing the same line of business, but now everyone works from home. So whichever businesses you're a part of, COVID-19 has stated that, listen, you can't go to the office again. Everyone can work from home now. And guess what? Many businesses are now putting this into their long-term plan because they've realized that it works. It works, and it costs less to have their employees at home than when their employees get into the office. So that is something that is here to stay, and you will see it in the future where more people will be having flexi work week. You have the platform pivot, where now people are thinking of new ways of delivering sales and service. So if you used to be the shop around the corner where people had to come and buy hair products and face products and buy food, now the shop around the corner has to go online and has to deliver their products online. So that's a new platform that they have to now build and manage and maintain. We have to now do customer pivots, where you have an entirely new customer focus. Because of COVID-19, you're finding that new needs are emerging. Health needs are emerging. Things that you never believed would happen. Now, my personal testimony is that I used to live in Taiwan. And I lived and worked in Taiwan for 8 years. And they used to wear the mask as just a normal everyday lifestyle. They would just wear a mask. And when I went there, that was a culture shock for me. I'm like, these people are wearing masks everywhere they go. I could never see myself wearing a mask everywhere I go. Now, this is what I have to do. I have to wear the mask everywhere I go. If I try to go to the bank, I will not get service. If I try to go to a restaurant, I will not get service. As a matter of fact, if I walk on the road without a mask, a policeman might stop me and ask me, where's my mask? So this is a new things that are popping up now, the new products that are on this local market. People are buying masks. People are buying sanitizers and alcohol, and they are cleaning the place. So cleaning companies, janitorial companies are making a killing out of this COVID-19. So now you have entirely new customer focus with entirely new needs of the customers. The next pivot is a collaborative pivot, where you're working with another business to jointly deliver a new offering. So if you are a hair product service company, if you offer, maybe you sell bags, maybe you sell shoes, maybe you sell clothes, whatever it is, whatever your new business or your new idea is, you can collaborate with someone. Say you are collaborating with a small social media manager to put your products and services on social media so that you can get more clients that way, right? So the collaboration has increased more than ever before because now we're needing each other to survive. The next one is a complete business pivot. That means you're starting anew. You're shutting down the business because you realize you're losing the business that you were in. It is not sustainable for the future. And the services or the products that you are offering, it's on its way out. So it makes sense. It doesn't make sense anymore to have the business. So you close down this business and you start something new that is not related to the original one, but it's now related to this emerging new needs that you're seeing because of COVID-19. And it's not only because of COVID-19 that you see these needs. You see that these needs will be something that people will be looking in the foreseeable future. They're looking for these needs, and therefore you can build a business around it. And the last pivot, according to PSOJ, is the asset pivot. That is renting out the assets of the business directly. Are there machines that you're not using right now because of COVID-19 that you can rent out, contract out here and lease your assets out, heavy machines, even the computers, things like that, that other businesses may need? You can think of renting it out in order to earn an income. So we looked at the challenges and we looked at what PSOJ has said that businesses should do. So let us look at what the entrepreneur is looking at for the opportunities for this year and beyond. So many successful, innovative startups or businesses have emerged during this period of crisis. We're looking at things like even WhatsApp emerged from a crisis. Amazon emerged from a crisis. Facebook emerged from a crisis. What can you learn from this crisis? And what can you build to solve some problem that this crisis has presented? That could be your new opportunity. Secondly, there are opportunities for startups in telemedicine, remote personal care, home delivery, teleworking, online education. There's so many things. Just do a Google search on what people are looking for nowadays. Even skills like how to sew, how to type, how to make investments. Just those basic one-on-one skills. You understand? That people may not have had before, now they're looking to do. Thirdly, changing consumer habits. We talked about the emerging needs that are coming now because of COVID-19. These changing consumer habits that could uncover business opportunities for startups. So there are lots of changing consumer habits, lots of needs that people are developing now because of this health crisis, because of this pandemic. What are they? And because you can find some of these needs that are popping up, you can create a business around these needs, and this is your opportunity. And lastly, flexibility. No longer are you confined to the 9-to-5 brick and mortar company or business. Now you can do business anywhere, at any time, at any place. You can be here in Jamaica and be doing business with people in Japan. You can be here in Jamaica and doing business with people in Europe because of the internet. So leverage the internet to move your business forward. All right? So some solutions that I will give to businesses, to administrators here at NCU, that the university can use to leverage this COVID time is promote investment in skills and online training, especially during this crisis, to prevent skills depreciation and encourage upskilling of startup workers. People get onto the NCU Professional Studies program. They have a variety of short courses that you can do, that you can use to upskill yourself and make yourself competitive in this 2020 global sphere. Also, support research and development and give prizes for radical innovations that help to tackle this health crisis. What can you use? What can you develop? What can you create to help solve some of this crisis that's going on? Maybe you are the new inventor of the new vaccine. Be innovative and create solutions. Next one is reduce possible barriers associated with the entrepreneur status, making social protection more portable rather. So all those barriers to entry that the entrepreneur had to go through to start up businesses, we have to reduce those in order for us to support the entrepreneur. Ensure that funding remains available for innovative startups. Are there any grants out there that you can tap into to if you have an idea, especially to solve some problem during this crisis, you can reach out to the university, reach out to some NGOs to get some grants to start with your development of a product or service, whatever it is. Promote entrepreneurship training, and we need NCU and other leaders in the university learning sphere to promote entrepreneurship among its students. In combination with the benefits of displaced workers and lifelong learning to facilitate unemployment to entrepreneurship or employment to entrepreneurship, right? We're streamlining people to entrepreneurship transitions with particular attention to disadvantaged groups. So focus on that, administrators of NCU, and promote entrepreneurship training within your suite of courses and degrees that you offer. And lastly, promote university business collaborations. Administrators, collaborate with your local business people. Collaborate with your students who are budding entrepreneurs to encourage them, because you'll never know. You may have a new Facebook creator in your midst. You'll never know. You may have a new Amazon creator in your midst. You'll never know. So find ways in which you can promote your students while they're on their business entrepreneurship journey. And the local businesses in your community, also see how best you can collaborate with them to facilitate industry applications of innovation and university to entrepreneurship transitions. So you want people, your graduates to, from university, as they graduate, they go right into entrepreneurship and become successful entrepreneurs. So I have some examples of what people did in crisis and the opportunities that they took and the solutions that they had to face when they were faced with maybe an insurmountable problem. So Natalie Gray Reed from Facebook commented and said, "Honest work. I watched an episode of Oprah many years ago. I learned of 2 opportunities persons created for themselves and one sweet job. Number 1, sandcastle builder guy. He was an architect and got laid off and couldn't find work. So what did he do? He decided to use his skills at the beach. So he would build these elaborate sandcastles. And the end result is he was making good money. So what skills do you already have that you can probably upskill and upgrade and try to figure out during this time how you can, have a solution for the problem? Who would have thought that you can actually build the sandcastles and make money. Okay, number 2, a guy carves out a niche market, charging parents for services such as teaching your child to climb a tree or ride a bike or a skateboard. Let me tell you, these simple skills nowadays people are willing to pay for. Just, sewing, how to sew a dress, how to sew a top, how to sew pants. These are skills that parents, these are skills that people on a whole are willing to pay for. So get creative and see how you can use your skills that you already have to leverage yourself in 2020. And number 3, the lady's job includes curating all the products from top of the line companies who want to see celebrities wearing their stuff. So what does she do? She collects, organizes, and packages them to hand out to celebrities at big events like the Oscars. And that's her business. Lessons learned? People will pay for services, so create your own destiny. You can never believe what you can create just by coming up with ideas, using what you have in your hand, using the skills that you already have. But remember, you have to upgrade them. Maybe get some digitization skills through NCU professional courses, and then see how best you can leverage that and create your own destiny. Create a strategic plan. The 2020 entrepreneur must create a strategic plan. Ask a question like this to yourself. Where do I see myself in 3 to 5 or 7 to 10 years? 3 to 5 years is a short-term plan. 7 to 10 and onward is a long-term plan. So have a short-term plan and a long-term plan for your business. And it is okay if you only want to do business for 5 years and then that's it. And then you want to enter the workforce after that. You don't have to be a business man or woman for life. There is a time and a season for everything. If you find that your business will only last for 5 to 6 years, and then that's your plan, and afterwards you're planning to integrate yourself back into the workforce, that's fine. And if you see yourself as a long-term entrepreneur, somebody that wants to build a company and hand it over to your next generation, maybe your son or your daughter that comes along the way, that's fine too. All right? So know who you are and where you're going and have a strategic plan. In what areas do I need to upskill? Start listing those areas. Like I said, digitization, that's one way that you need to look at, and one area that you need to upskill. Next question, how can I improve my personal online branding? Right now, no one can meet face to face. And if you do, you're not meeting closely, right? You have to maintain that 6 to 8 feet distance. And therefore, once you're trying to find a job, once you're trying to talk to a client, you can't even do that in close comforts anymore. So now you have to do it online. So that means that whenever you're ready to offer your services, the first thing people do is Google you. That's what they do. They go on social media. They find your Facebook profile. They find your Instagram profile, LinkedIn profile. And therefore, if you are doing questionable things online, please delete it. And if you are tempted to write something online and there is something in your gut that tells you, maybe you should not do this, don't. Follow your gut, okay? So treat your social media profiles as your resume, because that's what people are looking at now, because we can't see each other face to face. So whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a normal worker trying to find work in the company, your social media profile is now your online resume. So treat it as that. So your Facebook profile should be clean, have lovely pictures, professional looking pictures too. Instagram, same. LinkedIn, same. Any picture that may look questionable, please take it down. Any content that may not be in alignment with you and your mission and vision and even your company, take it down. Delete it. All right? This is very important. And the last question you ask yourself is, what are my differentiators? What makes me different than anybody else and from anyone else? And highlight those differences. That is what makes you unique. And nowadays, people are looking for uniqueness. They don't want you to be like everyone else. So tap into your uniqueness and see how best you can leverage that to push your business forward. And I could not close out before talking about faith. We here at NCU, I know NCU is a faith-based institution. I'm a woman of faith. My company, therefore, I try to manage using my faith. So I will leave 3 Bible verses here for you regarding how you can manage your business using your faith. Proverbs 11 verse 3, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. The 2020 entrepreneur that wants to run their business through faith must be an entrepreneur of integrity. And integrity is simple. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. My word is my bond. Yeah. So if I cannot make a promise, I won't say it. If I can't fulfill the promise, I won't give that promise out. Right? Colossians 3 verse 23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. So you're not working for anyone else. You're working with the Lord, you're working for the Lord, so you're giving it your all, you're giving it your best. And lastly, Proverbs 3, 5-7, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Now, there are many times you're leading your business, you're leading your company, you're leading other people, and you may not even know the next step to take. You may find yourself at a crossroads and you're wondering where to go. This verse will take you through, because it has taken me through many times difficult decisions that I have to make. But I had to trust the Lord and say, Lord, I'm leaving this in your hands. I'm praying about it. I will even fast about it. And then I'll leave the decision in his hands. I'll follow his leading. And even though I may not see the way, the next 2, 3, 4 steps ahead, but it always works out for my good. All things work out together for your good once you trust in the Lord and leave it in his hands. All right, so I'll leave you with 7 strategies to honor God in your business. The first strategy is offer quality products or services. I find that in this sphere, and not only here, but all over the world, once people find out that you're a woman or a man of faith, they automatically assume that your product or service will be of low quality. Why is that so? As Christians, as persons that honor the Lord, and as people of faith, we should always have the highest quality of products and services. And we should maintain that quality the best way we know how. The second strategy is always do what you know is right. You know, sometimes people don't have to tell you. You know in your gut what is right, what is the right thing to do, what's the right move to make. It's always good to do it, even though it may hurt, even though it may cause pain. Always try to do the right thing. The third strategy is keep learning and striving for excellence, upskilling yourself, unlearning and relearning. All of those things, do that continuously. And once you do that continuously, you'll see that the quality of your products and services will always be at a high standard. Of course, recognize the lordship of Christ over your business. Is it that you want to instill, more every morning before you start working, you're going to have a short devotion? For me, every Monday we have a staff worship. So I have my staff on my online, where we meet online every Monday at the beginning of the week, and we have a short worship session. We pray for each other, we hold up each other, and we ensure that we have each other accountable when we're doing business. Also, keep your promises and follow through with your actions. We just talked about it. You should be a man or woman of integrity. Keep your promises and follow through with them. Treat your customers and your people around you with kindness. Not only your customers, but your employees, because many people tend to treat their customers nicely, but they would leave their employees behind. Let us remember that our employees are truly our first customers, right? So we need to treat our employees with grace, with love, forgiving one another, helping each other out if we can, and just being kind to one another. And the last thing is to glorify God through business by helping others when you can. Even if you're not going to charge, if you can go the extra mile sometimes and say, hey, I'll help you out in this area. That's one way of honoring God in your business. So I would like to leave you with the best career advice I've ever heard of. And that advice came from Erica Williams Simon. She posted this on LinkedIn, and she said, the best career advice that I can give is, don't ever attach yourself to a person, a place, a company, or an organization or a project. Attach yourself to a mission, a calling, a purpose only. That's how you keep your power and your peace. It's worked pretty well for me thus far, and it has worked pretty well for me as the CEO of Happy Teachers. I have attached myself to my mission, the vision, the calling, and the purpose. And therefore, because I have attached myself to that mission, I always know where I'm heading. And when hard times hit and the boat gets rocky, I'm not quick to jump ship, but I stick it out because I know where I'm heading. So key takeaways. As I wrap up today, this is a summary of what we talked about, and these are tips that I want to leave with the 2020 entrepreneur as we move forward. Think global from the very beginning. We're no longer thinking locally. We are now on the international platform. We are now online. We are now digital, and therefore we are now global. Next, make innovation a priority. Innovate, innovate, innovate. Getting ideas, new ideas all the time. Always tap into that creative originality that you have and see how best you can innovate your business. And lastly, develop solutions to overcome these challenges of COVID-19, because more likely these solutions will be here to stay. They won't be going away anytime soon. So once you develop a business around your solution, that may be a sustainable business for the foreseeable future. So I hope you totally enjoyed the time that we've shared today. I hope you learned a few things from my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And I want to just leave the social media platforms that I am a part of. If you want to follow me, you feel free to do so. I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, both as myself, as VENICE IRVING, and my company as Happy Teachers. So you can take some pointers there, okay? So we're on now to the question and answer segment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. VENICE IRVING. And if I view the chat, Some of the comments based on your presentation include excellent information, informative and timely presentation. But we have a question that I will take. It is from Dr. Stafford Cargill. And his question is, how can a mature company unlearn, relearn, and upskill? And what do you think about teaching entrepreneurship across curriculum? So it's a twofold question.
Staff. So ensuring that your staff has the necessary and the requisite skills to upskill your staff. Look at each department, and then from each department, you'll see what each department would need, right? And then, of course, decentralization. Sometimes when some organizations that are too large, they become too centralized, it kind of allows the communication to lag a bit because of the red tapes that people have to go through to get things done. So sometimes it's good to just decentralize a bit, give people a little freedom to make decisions to move the entire company forward. And lastly, I would just like to, since you are doing the digitization skills through your own professional studies department team, you can streamline your staff through that same department and see how best you can upskill them.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to thank you, Mrs. Venice Irving, on behalf of the College of Business and Management, our interim dean, Dr. Stafford Cargill, faculty and staff within the college, and by extension, the Northern Caribbean University, for an excellent presentation. Thank you so much. Those comment in the chat had summarized some of what I've expressed today. So, for those of us closing off this session from the College of Business and Management, we have been blessed with 2 excellent presentations this morning. And we are going to close off from here. But I'm going to invite all of you to join us at 2 p.m. for the opening sermon of Homecoming 2020. Thank you so much.